Hello everyone, today we are looking at Farm Together on the Nvidia GT 1030. So at the moment I have it on 1080p, very high preset. VSync is on. I've basically got everything set to the maximum. Render scale can go higher, but I think 100% is fine to get just a native 1080p. Things aren't looking too great because on the main menu we're only getting in the 30 FPS, but I have a farm that's fairly built up over a couple of weeks. So I have played this game a bit before, so we're going to load that up and see how well this graphics card handles a farm that's pretty far into development. Let's start the benchmark now. So we're getting close to 30 FPS. There's quite a bit of input lag. I would say it's maybe quarter of a second. It's one of the worst input lags I've ever noticed. And we are struggling to hold 30 FPS. I don't even think the frame rate's the problem here. I think it's the input lag that you're going to get annoyed with. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call this. I guess it is playable given the type of game this is. It's not really a reaction game. You can run it at 20 FPS and it would technically still be playable, but it's not very enjoyable. Let's see if we can disable VSync. Maybe that's causing some of the input lag, because VSync can cause input lag. Let's just take VSync off. Stop this benchmarking as well. Okay, yeah, the input lag's a lot better with VSync off. There's still some input lag. I don't know if you can hear my keyboard, but you might be able to hear when I'm pressing it and when the character reacts. There's quite a bit of time between that. And yeah, I still wouldn't call this particularly a nice experience. I'm going to turn off depth of field because I don't particularly like the effect myself, and I know that it does cause a lot of performance hit on certain graphics cards. So if we just turn off depth of field and motion blur, because they're both not particularly the things I like. Keep VSync off as well because I'm not even noticing any tearing, if I'm honest, but I do have a display that I think does work against VSync, screen tearing rather. See, the input lag's a lot less noticeable now that we're getting over 30. I would say there's not much input lag at all now. We're over 30. This is definitely a good playable experience. So if you don't like motion blur or depth of field, which I know a lot of people do not like, this might be the setup that you want to go for to get a playable experience on a 1030. Just put everything on max, turn off that depth of field, turn off that motion blur, VSync as well if you can manage it. You've got a display that handles that itself. And yeah, this is stable 30 on a fairly built up farm. This is very playable. Let's see if we can work our way towards a 60 FPS experience though, because that would be nice. Hang on, not farm settings. We want settings. Let's take off anti-aliasing. I get a feeling that anti-aliasing may not be that big of a deal in a game like this because of the art style. And it's kind of noticeable on some of the crops, like the edges of the crops, but it's not something like Crisis where you're going to notice AA being gone. It's not too noticeable on a game like this. I'm trying not to lower the presets too much because I know you get. Let's put it on high. Let's turn off ambient occlusion as well. That's just like shading around the edges of objects. Is that actually affecting our frame rate? Yeah, you get about 5 more FPS with ambient occlusion off. Yeah, we're still nowhere near 60 FPS. Let's see, can we get 60? I think we can, it's just how much we have to sacrifice to get it. What about medium? Medium get us 60? No. We may have to sacrifice some resolution here. I don't want to go below medium because I know on low you see how much pop-in we're getting with these crops just appearing. I know on low that is so close to the player, is that pop-in that is actually really bad. You can't appreciate. I think a lot of this game is appreciating the oh, see on low we do get over 60, but look how close that pop-in is. It's not you don't really want to play a game like this when that pop-in is so close to you, so I think we don't really want to go to low. I think medium's what we want. What about medium 720p? Medium 720p, let's start benchmarking this. So we've still got a fair bit of distance. You can look out over your farm and admire your work to a reasonable degree still. And yeah, we're holding above 60. I'll probably say that for a 1030 you probably do want to be running this at medium 720p if you want a 60 FPS experience. If you want 30 FPS, was it basically just turn off for a 30 FPS experience? You want very high 1080p, and I'll probably just keep the rest of it off in the advanced settings, and I think this will hold 30 FPS if you 1080p very high preset. Have all the advanced options off, and I think you're gonna hit a solid 30 FPS easy. If you can basically get your 40 FPS easy. Yeah, I think this is a good setup. Let's farm together. It's a nice casual farming game. If you're not too big into games, which you might not be if you're on a GT 1030, it might be a game that you enjoy playing. It's cooperative play as well. I can't remember how many players it is. It's at least up to 4 players. You can all join a farm together. Oh, that's the name of the game. And yeah, I'll probably be focusing a lot on casual games just because of the nature of the GT 1030. People that own it probably aren't big gamers, and these are the kind of games that appeal to people who aren't too into games but just want to relax and have a good time with games. So I'm not sure what game I'll try next. I was thinking about Wreckfest, but I think the Wreckfest might really push the 1030. Farming Simulator 22 I could do, but yeah, it's a bit similar to this game, but we'll see. You'll find out in a couple of days which one I decided to do. So leave a comment below if you have suggestions for what games you would like to see. I do have a fairly decent library of games that I can try out. I've also got a laptop with Intel integrated graphics, so if you want to see videos on that, and I have a Steam Deck as well, so I can do Steam Deck videos to see what works well on the Steam Deck and optimize settings for those. So yeah, just let me know. I'm just going to throw up the optimized settings on the screen now so you know which settings to use for 30 FPS and 60 FPS, and I'll see you in the next video.